This might be my new all-time favorite everyday carry camera. And to put it this way, I got another Fujifilm, and I'm very, very excited about this one because I didn't expect to get this, in all honesty. Let's check it out. So this weekend, I picked up the Fujifilm X100T, which you're probably wondering why. Why would you pick up a 10-year-old camera? Why wouldn't you go for the X100V or the X106? In reality, I just didn't need one, but more importantly, I couldn't find one. And as I mentioned before on the channel, I really do love my Fujis. It's something that, I picked up my first Fuji a few months ago, and I've really fallen in love with them. But why didn't I pick an X106? And I know I've showed it before, but let's be honest. I have an X-T50. It's the exact same camera. And why would I buy another pocket-sized camera when I have the Ricoh GR? Maybe I just fell into the continued Fujifilm hype overall, but I'm really excited about this camera, as I say, on pretty much every camera I get, just because for me, it's an experiment. As a photographer, I just love playing around with different cameras. It's just an exploratory mission, I guess, for lack of a better term. And, I do love my X-T50. This thing is a beast. I've shown it a million times over on this channel at this point, but let's check out the X100T. So picked up this camera, and right now on the used market, it's kind of obscene with the fact that I think these cameras were around $1,200 new in 2014, 16.3 megapixel APS-C, typical of Fuji standard because the fact that they don't do full frame, only crop sensor and medium format, and I just don't need a medium format camera or want to spend between $3,000 and $10,000 on one right now. But just the overall build quality of this camera is just phenomenal. I mean, it's a tank. I've heard jokes that, if you lost a hammer and you needed something to get some nails into a wall, the build quality of this is just so solid, and you could realistically use it as a hammer just because it is just solid metal. For me personally, I had never had a camera with an optical viewfinder. My Canon was electronic. My X-T50 is an electronic viewfinder as well. And just being able to kind of just check this out and get a different perspective than just looking through an electronic viewfinder, I thought that was really cool. But for me, ultimately what it came down to was the price on this. On the used market, I've seen them go for anywhere from $800 to $900. Even on MPB and KEH right now, I think they're around like the $1,100 mark, which is obscene for a 10-year-old camera, no matter how good it is. And it is good. I'll get to that a little bit later. But this camera, I've heard so many good things about it, and I figured, why not give it a shot for as cheap as it was? I got this in mint condition. I mean, there's not a scratch on this body. And I actually picked it up for only $600. Found it on Facebook Marketplace just to steal at the time, and seller was very friendly. Everything worked. I checked it out and just walked away with it yesterday. Actually came with a lens hood that I just don't have on because I want it to be much more pocketable, throw it in a fanny pack. And my X-T50 has the look with the square lens hood, so I'm just like, might as well go for something different overall. But so far, I took this out yesterday when I was out and about shortly after getting it. Took it to a farmer's market, just took it to the pool. It's not weather sealed, so don't buy this camera if you're looking for something weather sealed and trying to ball out on a budget, for lack of a better term. But I'm very happy with this camera so far. It has a very dreamy almost effect with the X-Trans 2 sensor. I think it's not comparable to the X-T50, but the image quality, especially when transferring everything in RAW. Editing these photos in Lightroom was just a blast. They were so clear. And is 16 million megapixels enough pixels enough really in 2024? In my opinion, yeah. This camera is, for me, just a on-the-go fun camera. On that note, the battery life, granted for a 10-year-old camera, is not that great. It uses the NP95 Fujifilm battery. I actually have an extra 2 set on the way just because I want to have some backups. It does not last that long, but that's okay. Batteries are cheap. Wasabi Power always keeps me stocked on that front. But this is just a fun camera. Like I bought this camera because I wanted a Fujifilm that I could just take around, carry with me if it gets a little bit beat up, because I am definitely I take care of my cameras. I like to keep everything in good shape, but this is a camera that I can take anywhere, and I'm not taking photos for anyone other than myself. So that's ultimately why I really wanted one of these X100 series. And the autofocus isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be for a 2014 camera. It's definitely nowhere near anything today, especially even the Fuji cameras. Definitely not my Sony cameras, which I'm shooting on a Sony right now. But this just makes me happy. It's more so a creative outlet than anything. And just being able to pull out a smaller camera like this and just be able to have very unique images. It still has, I want to say, 11 film simulations. One of the main differences, which I did not know when picking this up because I didn't do a ton of research, like I said, just kind of popped up on Facebook Marketplace. It was a steal at the time overall, and it doesn't have an articulating screen. So it's just locked in place there. But overall, it still has the Fuji dials, you know, just very tactile, feels really good, has some nice sound to it right there. I'm excited to have a lot of fun with this camera. It's probably gonna be my everyday carry, aside from my Ricoh, which if I really wanna get some sharp shots, and that's why I love my Ricoh, because the shots are so crisp, the raw files, even the JPEGs just come out absolutely beautiful. So stay tuned. I'm gonna post some of the photos that I took yesterday. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, do I think that this camera ultimately is worth buying in 2024? For $1,100, no. Because realistically, you're getting an excellent condition, which is still going to be a little bit beat up, probably over a 20,000 shutter count. This actually only had 9,000 on the shutter count when I got it. So I knew that this would be just a fun carry around everyday camera, but excited to show you guys the photos I took on this thing, because it's just the start of a journey with another Fujifilm. And you know, this is only day 2 with it. So I'm excited to share on Instagram, TikTok, more photos I take with this. I'm actually gonna be taking it on my bachelor party this weekend, along with my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, just for some nice high quality video. But let me know what you guys think. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below if you have any questions. Talk to you soon.